In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Thank you all for joining on to Jock Brothers Let Us Make Man. Another edition. Thank you all for joining on. My name is Brother Ahmed. I'm one of the brothers, one of the hosts of the awesome trio of the Jock Brothers. Let me introduce my brothers to you. First, we have our Brother Jackie. He's an entrepreneur. He's a father. He's an all-around good brother in the midst of our community, our mosque, our way of life. Bring him on with a strong Jock Brothers round of applause.
Somebody sound a little nervous over there. All right, Jock Nation. It's Tuesday. And it's Jock Brothers time. It's Tuesday at 7. We got a wonderful show for you tonight. We thank you all for your support and for tuning in tonight. Look, we are still on our initiative, our prison initiative. We want to get the final call, the greatest newspaper in the land, in the prisons. So we're asking for the Jock Nation's help to support and sponsor a prisoner, male or female. We need the name and all the information of the our brother and sister who you would like to sponsor. But we're asking those who would like to donate. Please go to Jock Bros, Cash App Jock Bros, and support the brothers for the program. Please support Cash App Jock Bros and support our prison initiative. And also, we're asking you to go to YouTube, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, hit share. Go to YouTube, like, subscribe, share. Thank you. Back to you, Ahmed.
Thank you, Brother Jackie. And next we have my brother. He's a father, a mentor, a fighter in the cause of truth. Please bring on our Brother Khalweed Muhammad.
All praise is due to Allah. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Jock Brothers Presents Let Us Make Man. I'm super excited about this show. We have the great Brother Keon Muhammad gracing us with his presence. Brother got many names. But we're going to talk about that, brother, later on in the show. But super excited about this show. Please get your pen, your pad. This is about to get spiritual. I know it is. I've seen a couple of this brother's shows. It's super spiritual for me, and it's going to be the same for this show. So thank you for tuning in. Back at you, Ahmed.
Thank you, Brother Khalweed. Thank you. And like you said, this is a great show tonight. Let me just introduce this next brother who is our guest. This brother is a citizen of the Nation of Islam under the leadership of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He first heard the life-giving teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad in 1993 at the age of 14. He became a registered member in 1997 at Muhammad Mosque, number 45 in Houston, Texas. But I just came from down there last weekend. Since 2021, he has had the honor of serving as a social media helper for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and compiled the ongoing popular book series, The Teachings 2.0, The Twitter Sayings of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, Volumes 1 and 2. He spearheaded the social media campaign for the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March Justice or Else gathering in Washington, D.C. in 2015, which resulted in an attendance of well over 1 million, mostly young people. Please bring on with a strong Jock Brothers round of applause, our brother, your brother, Brother Abdul Keon Muhammad.
That's right.
Praise to Allah. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum
salam.
Oh, praise due to Allah. Thank y'all so much for having me, my brothers.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother. Would you like to say a little bit about yourself, brother?
I think you said it all. I first have to start in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, and I thank the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan for allowing me the blessed honor to serve and to strive to be a helper in the cause of Islam. And I have to thank Allah for his beloved wife, his best and greatest helper, the First Lady of the Nation of Islam, Mother Khadijah Farrakhan. I thank Allah for her and her sacrifices. And I want to thank the entire Farrakhan family and the Muhammad family, two suffering families who laid the foundation that we standing upon today. So I'm just honored to be here amongst my brothers.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Praise be to Allah. Praise be to Allah. Now, brother, I know when I first met you, it's that smile, brother. It's that smile, man. Just lights the room up. You know, I think I have a pretty good sense of good people. You know, when I first met you, I was like, man, this seemed like a good brother. You know, and I wanted to engage and learn more about you as I begin to, you know, you was visiting the cities at the time, going around speaking about the Twitter army. But when I first learned about your journey, it was with the Final Call, and it inspired me so much. I just wanted you to kind of give us a little piece or a little look into your journey, starting with the Final Call.
Yes, sir. So it was around about 2003 or so. I wrote a letter, email to the then editor of the Final Call, Sister Dora Muhammad. And, you know, we don't believe in set tripping in the nation. However, I kind of pointed out to her that I felt like it was only select cities and regions that were being consistently highlighted in the paper every single week. Right. And so I wrote Sister Dora and I said, you know, we doing things in the Southwest, and I know the Southern region and other regions are doing something. Can y'all highlight somebody else? And she called me and she said, well, brother, why don't you write the articles? I said, wait a minute now. I didn't say all that. I was just suggesting that you all highlight the other regions because there are other FOI and MGT doing great work, you know, right. And we have equal opportunity in the paper. And so she encouraged me to write the article. So I started just right here in Houston doing what the messenger said. One of the things he had advised Brother Jabril and Brother Abdullah, one of the things he said would make the Muhammad Speaks a great and effective paper is highlighting the success of his followers. Right. So all I did was write the success of the believers. Anything that the believers in the city and the region were doing of good, I would write about it. 500 words, send a picture. She started printing it. And she started back doing the success of the believer section. Now, I had no idea or even thought about it, brother. The minister reads the paper every week, but I wasn't thinking about that. So all of a sudden I get a call from Sister Dora and she invites me up to Chicago to the Final Call administration building. She said, brother, I heard from the minister and he loves the spirit of your writings. Now you all have to know, I didn't go to school for journalism and you know, I went to North Forest ISD in Houston. So that ain't considered the greatest district in the history of Texas or America. Right. So subject verb agreement, you know, Brother Kawi, I was all right, but I was just writing out of love because I love the believers. The FOI and MGT to this very day have always been the real celebrities to me. So I was writing in the spirit of love of the believers. And the minister said he loved that spirit and he instructed her to invite me up, brother, sat me down at the building. The first thing they talked to me about was the importance of if you work for your nation and you receive charity that's donated from the believers to help the minister in the nation, you're obligated to give something back. So the meeting was majority about the importance that when you work for your nation, you must give in charity. Then the last portion was, by the way, brother, the minister wants to make you a part of the writing staff. I say, what? Wow. I was shocked. So that calling began with the minister recognizing or feeling the spirit of your brother's writings in the paper. And that's how my Final Call journey actually started. I wasn't seeking it. I was called to it. All praise is due to Allah.
Praise due to Allah. I'm talking about that's just an awesome, inspiring story to actually start something, but not even expecting such a grand result from it, but just wanting to get the believers and your friends and family in your community to be recognized. Man.
Yes. You know, and I have to say that any believer, any of my friends from college, even in my family, everyone recognized that any platform, blog, whatever I do, even my social media pages to this day, I am so in love with highlighting and uplifting the greatness of others. I really, really am. There's nothing in my heart of envy, jealousy, insecurity. I love raising. So through the final call, the believers saw that, and I've continued to stick to that template because I said, if that touched the minister, then that must be by which we should be by one another, as Jesus said, love ye one another as I have loved you. So by the grace of Allah, through those writings, he saw the love of your brother for his fellow brothers and sisters in the nation.
Praise be to Allah. One for your brother, what you want for yourself. Now,
that's right.
Now that through the final call segued you into writing, getting into the Twitter, or getting into the position of being the forefront or head of the Twitter army?
Yes, sir. Well, first, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is the head of the Farrakhan Twitter army.
That's right.
I'm just in the digital ranks along with everybody else who got their heads at a 45-degree angle with their thumbs going. The minister, I have to say, that final call journey was really something. It was a joy and it was a lot of trials, in it. But through the final call paper, which I have to say from the days of high school, 8th grade, when I first got my first paper, I've always adored reading the paper. I love the final call. The final call saved my life. And I believe that everybody on here can bear witness to that. So I would be in English class at Forest Brook High School with my final call paper in the middle of my English book. That's how much I love the paper. So imagine me coming in, being invited to be on staff for the greatest paper on the planet, to walk the halls of the final call building and see the pictures of Brother Abdul Wali Muhammad and all of the past editors, and knowing that so many sacrificed to build this institution, and knowing that the minister, all that he and his family went through to build this. So through that journey, my brother, I stayed focused on that. This is about an institution that a man has sacrificed to build. So I didn't take my time for granted at all. So from that time, I started learning all these modern technological tools to get our paper and the minister's word out. So during the the Gina 6, you all remember the Gina 6 case?
Yes, sir.
In Gina, Louisiana. Well, we was blessed to break that story nationally and internationally with my cover story on the final call. And when we were, in Louisiana, I have to tell you, I had never heard of Gina, Louisiana at all up until that happened. But somebody, was a white person, they approached me and say, brother, at that time, Brother Jesse, they say, we love the final call, but we need faster news. You need to start a blog, man. I didn't know what a blog was. But if the people said it would help them to get the news quicker, I went and started studying blogging. That's what led me to Twitter. Then that led me to Facebook. Then I learned from Roland Martin, because he was doing it for President Obama, how to do live blogging. So I spent hours and hours of just studying, because just like every other soldier, my desire is always to get the minister's words to as many people as possible. So when I saw these tools, I said, this is the way. This is how we got to do it. And I was excited, but everybody wasn't excited about it, because the minister teaches us people fear what they don't understand. So I was trying to get the nation to embrace this, but people didn't see the vision. But I thank Allah, I didn't get discouraged, because I saw the reactions of the people early on before the nation got on Facebook. I saw it on Twitter. I saw it on blogs. And I was very happy when people started tuning in to Savior's Day 2008 on social media. And from there, we just haven't stopped. So the final call was that segue into me getting into this blessed service and position.
Praise be to Allah. Yeah, because my question was with social media. I know at the time with Facebook and everything coming out, we were all trying to find our way. Well, what is this about? How do we put ourselves out there? Is this a government tool to just try to dig deeper into our personal lives? It's like where we are. It was great that you were able to use your passion to get the word out, to find out all these avenues. Was that at the same time a time when you received your name? Because I understand the minister gave you that name.
Well, no, this was way, I started, by the grace of Allah, the minister called me to start his Twitter account. That was March 2011. And so that started a journey that I did not expect that at all. I made the statement as those who would be blessed to read volume 2 of the Teacher 2.0 in my introduction. I talked about that I said the only thing that's missing is an official Twitter account of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And look, the minister didn't know anything about Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, what all that is. Matter of fact, he said he hated the internet. He said, that's not my thing. But in that moment, he was divinely inspired. He said, well, set it up, brother. And you know how you do when you hear the instruction. Like, wait a minute, let me make sure he said it in my good ear. Because I know, and we as soldiers know, when the commander give you a direct order and you start thinking about all the opposition, what's going to happen, what you got to deal with, you're like, nah, wait a minute. And I said, sir, he said it again. And a couple of days later, I set it up because the commander gave me an order. And as soon as the Twitter account went up, oh Allah, it exploded in the nation.
Wow.
Everybody was calling. They was trying to investigate. Who did this? This and that. Brother, you need to shut it down. And I got all kinds of mental threats. I gotta keep it real. So with that being said, though, when you say we hear and obey, I said, well, when the minister tells me to take it down, I take it down. Right. And so it got so heated, Brother Jackie, the minister called an emergency conference call with me and officials to let them know that he instructed me to do it, but here was the test. He waited days and let the fire stoke on me just to see was I a real soldier.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
He let it go. He let them bite at me. They was calling him, emailing him, and even student minister Abdul Halim here in Houston, he got a call.
Wow.
And they was trying to say that I went rogue. Really? So the father, he got to test you. So that was a test immediately. But he wanted to see, did I have a wheelbarrow?
Right.
Was I gonna punk out?
Right.
And by the grace of Allah, no, I'm sorry. You came the wrong way. No, I got a direct order. So humbly again, though, not knowing that in that divine moment, it ended up being the means by which the minister said he was breaking out of that jail without walls, as is written in Paul. Right. And he said that also, though, humbly, he said social media allowed him to catapult over those inside the nation who was blocking his word from getting to the people. So this was very, very serious. So thanks be to Allah, not knowing, a little over 10 years later, at the end of Ramadan last year, our beloved minister found it necessary. He found it fit to give your brother this blessed holy name. Right. And 2020 and during Ramadan. And I was so touched, by it, and still in awe and humbled by it. And, real quickly, the thing that hit me and struck me the most was that call that it happened. We was talking about what we always talk about, Brother Kyle, the resurrection work. The minister is always talking about the believers and work. Even as recent, I was blessed to just speak with him last week. It's nothing but work. Believers.
Spill the beans.
The minister is talking about. So in the call, we was talking about a report I had sent and work and spreading the Teachers 2.0 book. And he asked me a question. He said, brother, do you think your mother would mind if I give you a name? And I immediately started crying. And he said, would you mind if I gave you a name? And I said, no, sir, brother minister, I don't think any of us will mind, sir. He said, well, I'm going to consult with the God and I'll get back to you on it. And what hit me really hard, I was in the grocery store lastly. I'm in line, getting that honey to-do list that your wife, sends you on. I'm in the line at the store. My phone rings again. It's the minister. Now, I can't bounce for nobody else, Brother Jackie. But when the minister calls, my whole world shuts down. So I left the basket, everything at the line. And the lady was like, sir, let's go. I do not care. I'll be back. I ran out to the car, got in. We had talked for 2 hours earlier that day. And the minister called me an hour or so later. He said, brother, I got your name. It was that fast.
Wow.
And that's what really touched me. So he said, from this day forward, you're Abdul Qiyam Muhammad, because you are a servant of the resurrector, who is our father, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Praise
so Qiyam is servant? Is it?
So Abdul is the servant part.
Okay.
And Qiyam is rooted in Surah 75, which is Al-Qiyamah. which is the resurrection.
I got you. Yeah, because
Yes,
that prayer, at 2 o'clock is the Qiyam prayer as well.
That's right.
Yes,
That's right,
sir.
dear brother. And many people, you know, I strive to be a student in this. And when he gave me the blessed name, he told me to go and study it.
Mm.
He said, you'll find more of it, but go and research it. So while humbly, some people took offense to me doing it, Brother Jackie, I didn't rush immediately to go to Facebook to announce it.
Mm.
I only told 3 people. I kept it because he told me to study it. So before I announced it, I wanted to get understanding of
That's
it. Plus,
right.
I needed to process it. Like, that wasn't a lightweight thing, man. The
Right,
minister
right.
done gave you a name, and you know, my mom broke down, and it just was a lot, you know. And so when I studied, I found out about that prayer. And they said that the prophet, peace be upon him, when the believer makes that prayer, he or she is at their closest to Allah.
Man, I'm telling you.
Oh, and it's in that third
Come on,
part
man.
of the night, and he encouraged the Muslims to make that late night prayer before Fajr prayer. And one of the brothers, lastly, this is the first time I've shared this in the interview, a very good friend of mine whom I've never met in person, but we've connected via Twitter for years. He's an imam in Philadelphia, but he's very connected in the Middle East, in Mecca, Medina. He speaks Arabic very fluent. Good brother. He from the hood, but he's an imam, scholarly.
Right.
He called me months later just to check in. We hadn't talked in 3 years. And I shared with him what my name was. He said, see, this is why, brother, the Muslims in the Muslim world can't tell me nothing about Minister Farrakhan. He is divinely guided. He said, brother, not only does it mean to be upright, to resurrect, he said, but also the Arabic root means one who holds others accountable to a standard.
Mm.
And he said, brother, I've known you for so many years. When you would come on our podcast, you was always challenging us as men to our duty and uphold the standards that you've been learning from the minister. So he said the minister is right and exact in the name that he gave you. And I just cried. And he said, that's why I'm going to tell the scholars tonight on our call, quit talking about the minister. You need to listen to him because July the 4th, 2020 was coming up.
Mm.
And I shared that with the minister, and he said, surely Allah knows best where to place his message and where to place his attributes.
So brother,
All praises to Allah.
No,
Thank y'all for allowing me to share that.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother.
that was a good segue to this question that I want to ask you. I mean, on Student Minister Willis show, you gave a call out to all the witness bearers. I mean, you gave a big one. Man. I know you had to hear about it, right? But I want before we talk about that, I want you to add, why is it so important that we got to be that witness bearer? Because we just had a show not long ago. I asked those stories that everybody want to hear, and everybody was kind of like, I don't know, we could say this on the air, you know. In your own words, why is it so important that we get those particular stories out?
Well, you know, in the book of Revelation, it talk about that woman that the dragon was wroth with, upset, because he couldn't do nothing with that woman. So he made war with the remnants of her seed.
Come on now.
And when you study the remnants of her seed, it's those who keep the commandments of their Lord and stand on their testimony. Whew.
Come on, man.
Then it says in Revelation, they overcame the dragon by the blood of the Lamb. That's his way, his life.
Come on, man.
Yes.
Come on, man.
We're in the midst of that suffering servant who is
Yes,
that
sir.
Lamb. So the blood that he has shed and on his way to Calvary, we're saved by the blood of the Lamb, and it says the power of their testimony.
Come on, man.
So here it is in that final hour, as we're walking out of these two books, the God is calling on us to be a witness. So in the Holy Quran, it said the messenger of Allah is a witness, bearing a witness to you, and you're supposed to be what? A witness to the people.
Come on.
That's the equation. So if we are running from the witness stand, Brother Kawi, we're weakening in our powers.
Come on, man.
We're losing power.
Mm.
Do you ever ask yourself the question? Me and the minister, I was blessed to talk to him about this once a couple months ago last year. He said it's certain ayats in the Holy Quran where the prophet, peace be upon him, he's instructed, say. He said, here's a command to speak something from your mouth. So you notice in them last two surahs, say Allah. Hey, say this. Why? You need to get it up off of you and let it come out of your mouth, because not only do somebody else need to hear it, you need to hear it.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
So it stemmed from, Brother Kawi, as I've shared before, the first time I was at dinner with the minister in December 2010 in Memphis. His granddaughter, the daughter of Brother Student Supreme Captain Brother Mustafa, and his beautiful wife, Sister Karen, their daughter was graduating from college. And I was blessed to be there because I was covering a story where we had found our brother who was hung in Mississippi. That was on the cover of the paper. I was covering that story and was blessed to be locked down by the FOI, Brother Sadar, Brother Kareem Ali, and my brother, Brother Derek. He and others rolled from Houston, and that was a major story. But on the way back from Mississippi, the minister called me to dinner, and in short, something he said to me, Kawi, that he buried in my subconscious, that wired me in a way to not only call out the witness bearers, but to not be shy about me being a witness bearer. He looked over at me in the middle of dinner. I'm sitting to his right, and he said, at that time, he said, Brother Jesse, when did we start in the nation asking permission to bear witness to a man that saved our lives? I don't know, Brother Minister. He said, brother, you don't need permission. And he hit the table. We had dinner. He said, from now on, brother, don't you ask permission to be a witness bearer. Boom. Went right in my subconscious. That was December 2010. And anybody that knows me, so when I started touring, Brother Ahmed, on the Teachers 2.0 tour, when I started talking about my dinner experiences with the minister, people in leadership positions started pulling me to the side, to my brother, you need to be careful what you talk about. I said, what? I said, oh, I hear now. The minister recognized that the disciples was holding back. They was in a state of suspended conscience. And he recognized in future perfect tense that a time would come that the witness bearers could no longer be silent.
Come on, man.
Because Jesus was about to go on trial.
Come on, man.
So he put it in me to know, don't you be scared. So when I started telling them about the minister being at the table, they had like I was going to get put on F-time, brother.
Come on, man.
Serious. So I shared it with the minister, and this is what he said to me. He said, oh, that's good, brother. You my eyes and ears on the ground on what's going on in the mosque. He keep on bearing witness, brother, and report back to me. He never told me to stop.
There you go.
See, brothers and sisters, whoo, we gotta know that when you put yourself in the hands of the teacher and the Messiah, and be a chess piece for him, don't question him. He knows better than you. The supreme wisdom says she knows all about you. So he knew that by telling me that, he must have saw that I was going to do it.
Yes, sir.
And that it was going to stir something up in the nation. So as I was on tour, I kept telling it. I even went to Chicago at a Salon restaurant. I did it there, and people pulled me to the side, man. And I said, you know what? I'm recognizing we have a problem in the nation.
Come on, man.
We got too many silent witnesses. And the minister told me that. He's surrounded by too many silent witnesses. So he told me that so I could see it.
Yes, sir.
So now, goodness. Now, the last thing, Brother Kawi, this is the one that I really love to deal with. And we still got this problem. We don't like to bear witness in the name of security. Man, you need to quit. No, sir. The minister has been the most transparent person about his health condition to the entire world. You mean to tell me you can't tell what you have seen him overcome? Come on, man. It ain't about security. It's your insecurity of your lack of faith.
Go ahead, man.
Put him in that man.
Hold up, man. Come on. Come
you
on.
You're not his security. He's secured by the two that back him. We are aiders and helpers.
Come on, man.
We are stewards in helping him. He's always secure 24/7. So
that's
don't
right.
use that as a cover, man.
Right.
Come on.
You ain't rolling with him like that in the 90s like it used to be. He don't even travel like that more. Man, tell the stories.
That's right.
I'm passionate about that because I recognize that's what has weakened us as a nation. you won't do what Allah is telling you to do. Say it, man. If you was outside his door on post in the 90s and you heard him play the violin or do the call to prayer, that don't take nothing away from you by telling the people that, man.
That's right.
You seen the minister sacrifice and didn't get no sleep and travel the world and he got all that fire in his belly. Won't you tell it, man?
That's right.
Come on, MGT. How many times have you served the minister and you heard him teaching at the table?
Come
you
on,
don't want to
man.
give us those jewels? What you gonna do? Take it to your grave?
Come on, man.
No, not me. I'm gonna tell it. I gotta tell it. Those of us that may think that some of us are unintelligent, we soldiers.
Right.
We know certain things that are meant to be taken to the grave. You best believe there are certain things that I know, but I know enough to know what I am gonna tell.
Yes, sir.
So that came from the minister, Brother Kawi.
I
He
ain't
wired
trying to get you
me
fired up, brother.
like that, and Jesus is being put on trial right now. Go back and listen to Savior's Day 2019. When Jesus straight out declared who he is and didn't sugarcoat it, a trial started happening. But you know what? It's sad for us to quote the book about all of the false witnesses that came forward. But yet, we got a testimony and won't tell it. I don't want to go down like that.
No,
I
sir.
love Brother Jackie. My children know that their father don't play when it comes about testifying to the minister.
Right.
I don't care what nobody else may think. My babies know that their daddy gonna tell it. And in fact, it's to the point now, when they're around the house, they can feel the energy when I'm on the phone with the minister, man, because I get very sheepish and very MGT. They know how their father feels about the minister and represent the minister. So I don't play even when it comes with my babies, man,
Right. Right.
because they gotta know. We wouldn't have nothing. Man, excuse me, brothers.
I love that passion, brother.
Love it.
I love that passion, brother. Love that passion. Now you know, love that
thank
passion.
a lot for this man, brother. So
Come on,
may
man.
Allah continue to bless us. Come on, witness bearer.
Let
Stop
me ask you this, brother.
Please.
Question, Brother Kiyam. Now, clearly you have a really close relationship with the minister, and I know that being that close to the light sometimes, you know, like when I see him, I saw him one time. It was just like I was in awe. Oh my God! Now you see him quite a bit to the point that should be a level of comfort, right? So with that being said, how do you keep in perspective, that man, this guy, how do you harness that?
Oh, brother, that's not a challenge for me at all. You know, the first letter I wrote to the minister and he read it. It was regarding the final call and I was resigning. The minister, when he read the letter, he told me on the phone when he first called me, January 2010. He said, brother, I was talking to him about the blog and the Twitter, social media, and all these things I was doing and the tour I was on. He didn't know anything about it, but he said this, Brother Kawi. He said, have I ever met you before? No, sir, brother minister. He said, have I ever shook your hand before? No, sir. I said, I've been on posts on your door many times and you passed by me, but I said, in those days, you wasn't even allowed to look at you, brother minister, if you came by our way on post. We was told you had to turn your back to the minister. You know, y'all know about that security in the 90s.
Absolutely.
They got it good right now. We wasn't even allowed to look at the minister. You
Come on, man.
your post.
Come on,
That
come
was
on.
a nuisance. Don't
That was a
stab
nuisance,
him.
brother.
But Rashad, I used to see Brother Rashad check people. Don't stab the minister.
Right.
They protecting the principle and everything. So
Right.
I said, no, sir. He laughed when I told him I never even got a chance to hardly look at him when I'm on doorposts. But then he said, you've never had dinner with me? I said, no, sir, brother minister. I've never had that honor. He said, you're doing all of this for me and you never met me?
Wow.
I said, by the grace of Allah, yes, sir. He said, Brother Kawi, quote, that means you know me from scripture.
Yeah, that's what that means. Come on, man.
So I thank Allah, brother, that my brother put that message of the black man in me during an era where we didn't play about studying the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Studying I came in when studying was a serious culture, man.
Come on, man.
You
Come
step
on,
on
man.
the grounds of Muhammad Mosque number 45, you couldn't even sell the final call if you hadn't read the paper, man. They didn't play about studying. The tapes, if you didn't listen to the minister's latest lecture, man, they looked at you like you was a hypocrite. What, you ain't heard the minister's latest lecture?
Come
No,
on,
for
man.
real. Like,
No, that's
so
right. That's right,
that
brother.
culture of studying and reading
The
Brother
culture.
Jabril's articles and Mother Tanetta's articles, I thank Allah that I was
11:55.
taught to
Come on,
minister
man.
through scripture, man.
Come on, man.
So to be now, I put in this proximity of him. I can been blessed, Brother Kawi, to see his humanity, and I've never lost sight of his divinity. Because he teaches us. If we heard him at the Beethoven Violin Concerto, he said that divinity is couched in humanity. So if you have developed a level of comfortability with him, I don't even want to know how you do it. I don't want to be in that comfortable space like that. No way. That's dangerous. So anybody can tell you. They've heard me say it in the presentation that when he called me, my voice changes. Brother Armand in Durham, North Carolina, who may or may not be watching, him and others, he could tell you, they would tease me when I would do them speaking engagement. I'm talking about, man, my voice get real MGTs when the minister called. How Allah would have it, Brother Kawi. I was in Durham, North Carolina for volume 2 on the tour, Social Media Warfare. He picks me up from the hotel. We headed to this venue. Guess who calls me? I'm in the passenger seat. It was the minister. The brother can tell you, I started leaning so close to the car, like I'm about to get out, like I'm trying to get in a private space. I'm whispering. My voice pattern went all the way down. Yes, sir, brother minister. This, that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And he asked me to give a message to Brother Amon because the minister knew where I was at and everything like that. So when we get to the venue, Brother Amon started telling the believers, brothers and sisters, he telling the truth. I saw it. That brother's whole aura changed when the minister came on the phone. And to this very day, by the grace of Allah, Brother Kawi, every time the minister calls me, it's like the first time, brother. When I'm in his presence, some people wonder, how did Brother Keon, Abdul Keon, how do you take all them notes like that, brother? How do you remember all these things? When I'm on the phone with him and I'm in his presence, I'm distracted. We say he's supposed to be the apple of our eyes. I'm telling you all, when I'm at dinner, I learned to the point now. I never want him to even look up where I'm not, where he may think I'm not paying attention to him. So I learned how to just type on my phone with notes without looking down at it, because I want him to always know I'm keeping my eye on you.
Right.
I'm listening to you. I'm looking at your hand gesture. I'm looking at how he's responding to what other people say. I'm surveying the room, man.
Come on, man.
So that's why he told us as students on September 17, 2020, he banned all cell phones that day at Mosque Mariam because he said he didn't want any competition with what he was about to say.
That's right.
That was a lesson to the students. So, Brother Kawi,
Any competition. Come on, man.
I don't know what it's like to get comfortable. And the minister still gently teases me because my voice still cracks when he calls and asks me something, and he'll make me nervous all the time.
Yes, sir.
He still does, because I haven't developed that comfortability, and I pray I will never. Because, dear brother, I've seen others go that way. And we talk about the suffering servant. He has also had to suffer the disrespect of us,
Right.
who have lost sight of who we dealing with.
Right.
And we love to quote where the messenger instructed him, brother, you got to be careful how you think about people, right? And the minister has constantly warned us, Brother Jackie. He said, be careful how you bounce me around in your head.
You push me around in here. Come
So
on, man.
imagine if you sitting at the dinner table with the minister. I've seen people cut him off in mid-sentence, and I've cringed. Like, wait a minute. Being straight up as a soldier, it's been some times he tapped me and said, it's okay, brother. It's okay. I have to suffer these things.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Cut him off.
Wow.
You mean to tell me what you got to share is more important than him? Man, if the minister sits in silence for 2 hours, that's good enough for me.
Yes, sir.
I don't say nothing.
Right.
Encourage us.
Mm.
Never grow in that comfortability, brothers and sisters, because that's very, very dangerous.
Yes,
It's
sir.
very dangerous, but it's still like the first time. And I thank Allah, Brother Kawi, that out of all of the people, this is what I always think about. Out of all the people he could be calling, all sacrificing soldiers in the nation of the FOI and MGT, all of the hardworking, sacrificing laborers, all of the young believers that's working and sacrificing, all of the people around the country, all of the celebrities that love the minister, all the people around the world, he would take a moment out of his day to call little old me.
Mm.
That's why I'm obligated to tell it.
Yes, sir.
I gotta bear witness because I don't take it for granted.
Mm.
But oh man, it's always like the first time. I love me some minister. I just
Yes.
I do. I know you all do too.
Let me ask you something about your before we get into the books, your I just wanted to just touch your Final Call journey just a little more.
Yes, sir.
Now, in that Final Call journey, as you were learning, because you're not a journalist, you didn't study that, so you were given an awesome opportunity now to travel, now to take on these assignments. But what was, because I heard you speak about the assignment with the Katrina catastrophe, but what was your biggest highlight in being in as a Final Call representative?
Well, first I have to say, look, the first highlight was just being a part of the staff. You know,
Right.
being a student of history and knowing all that it went into just to get that back off the ground and to build the Final Call and all those that came before me. And so I was just happy, being on the call with the editors and, the staff and every Thursday on those calls and having some mid-3 stories. But I say it again in all sincerity, I'm on the phone with icons to me.
Right.
So the first thing I'm like, man, how did I get here? Like, wow, And after that, of course, Hurricane Katrina happened in 2005. And I'm new to the staff again. But Sister Dora said the minister wanted me to cover the Katrina, the cover story. That was my first cover assignment. I have to tell you all, I didn't want to do it. I said, oh no, because even though I was in Houston, I knew there were others more qualified, about journalistic history. How about y'all fly Sister Nisa down here, Sister Charlene? Sister
Right.
Dora was here. I'm like, why don't you write? She said, the minister wants you to write it.
Mm.
And y'all remember the minister was on the whirlwind tour after that. So with Katrina, though, many don't know this. So the biggest highlight, but I mean, for me was they had banned all news media from going inside the then active Astrodome, where our brothers and sisters was brought here. And I had to get the story. So, Brother Jacket, look, we FOI, but that hood side, it's still there. So I took off my Class A
And put on, come on, man.
jeans and a white T-shirt,
Come on,
Air
man.
Force Ones. I put my recorder in my back pocket, my camera in my other back pocket, and I walked in the Astrodome because the cops just thought I was somebody from New Orleans anyway, because they were just walking up and down the area of Kirby by Astrodome. So I just walked in to get the story. And I started going around sneaking, interviewing people, taking pictures. So we were the first paper to get exclusive pictures, first news media to get pictures from inside the Astrodome. So this is the blessing of being an active soldier in our community. And I thank Allah for being groomed in Muhammad Mosque number 45. We always have stayed active, just like you all have, of course, in Atlanta and everywhere else, right?
Come on, man.
One of the cops, he saw what I was doing. White cop came over to talk to me. And I said, oh man, I'm about to get put out of here, right? But another brother, a brother, he knew me from our community work. He said, Brother Jesse? He said, Brother Jesse, I said, yes. He said, oh, he good. He said, I know who you with. And he let me go. And so we, by all praises due to Allah.
Hey,
so I snuck in the door, got the story, and I stayed in the office, Action CDC, the Community Development Corporation. that Brother Abdul Halim and others have here in Houston. We had an office at that time in the Chase building. I stayed in that office, Brother Kawi. They had no air conditioner running after 5 o'clock. I stayed in there all night till 3 in the morning doing that story to get it in. I was so nervous. And Sister Dora lastly told him, Brother Ahmed, told the minister what I did to get the story. She said the minister laughed at me so loud in the hotel room. And he said, now that's what I call a Muslim exclusive. So Hurricane Katrina, and that's why I've always called Muhammad Mosque number 46 my second home. Because it made me and Brother Student Minister Willie and the believers there, we got very close because for several years after that, the commemoration of Hurricane Katrina, the Final Call sent me there every year. So that was my story that I covered for at least 6 straight years.
Wow.
Dear brother, updating on our people, interviewing people here in Houston. So in the writing world, that was the beat that I was assigned to. So there was many highlights, but I have to say, Hurricane Katrina and seeing Muhammad Mosque number 46 come back from the ashes on Down Man Street and writing that story and seeing they rededication and writing that's very dear to me, and I will hold that in my heart forever. So I thank Allah again for our beloved minister seeing more in me than I ever would have thought, and seeing beyond just the byline in those stories that I initially sent. And I thank our beloved Sister Dora Muhammad, because she too saw something, in me to recruit me and bring me on. And then eventually I became the Southwest Regional Correspondent and then made staff writer. I wouldn't have never imagined. So I'm grateful. And I thank Allah for every single person to this very day who is still on the Final Call staff, sacrificing and serving to make sure that the best paper comes out every single week without fail.
Praise be to Allah.
Brother Abdul Qiyam, you spoke earlier that you spoke with the minister roughly like 10 days or so ago, and we kind of brushed past that, bro. I want to kind of back up to that and see if there's anything that you could share from that conversation with us. If there's anything there that you can share or tell us about his spirit, or just, give us a brief highlight of something.
Absolutely. Thank you for the question. It's very important. I want everybody to know our brother minister is 1000% focused.
Yes, sir.
On communicating with the God and the Christ in preparation for February the 27th. This last call, he was in a very joyous spirit, laughing, chuckling on things. The last call was very brief. This one was actually just 60 seconds. Very brief.
Okay.
Regarding a report that your brother has sent them many, for years now, since 2011. Every time a major address is coming up, every time a headline comes up with his name, or just in what's going on, I'm always giving the minister the feedback of what is happening. And the recent calls, multiple calls, has been related to what is the reaction and the commentary regarding just the flyer that went out on January the 27th. So I've been compiling lots of comments from around the country and the world and from the nation to deliver to our Father. So he's called me every time he's read it. One of the things of the jewels he said to me recently, Brother Jackie, that I would love to pass on to the Sentinels. The minister stated, quote, "We will never be good servants if we do not purify our hearts, or if we are not at least striving to purify our hearts." And he said, Brother Qiyam, I want to help you all. He said, I just want to help you to show you a heart that you may purify your heart.
Your heart. Come on, man.
He said, will y'all just let me help you?
Wow.
And I'm crying. Like I said, help me, Father. I want to be helped.
Come on, man.
I need help. I can't speak for nobody else, but I need help. And it made me think as he was talking, how he changed that opening prayer. Many of us humbly might forget, but we say, surely I have turned myself. He changed that long time ago. He said, surely I am being turned. He said,
Come
you
on,
can't
man.
turn yourself.
That's
And
right.
I don't know why we keep saying it the other way. We can't turn ourselves. So he changed that prayer for a reason. So I said, Father, I want to be helped. Help me. He said, I just want you all to see a purified heart. So you too can set a goal and a desire to have a purified heart as well. That was from one of the recent calls from our beloved Father. And so the minister, it's been a trying time for everybody.
Yes.
You know, we have talked about the suffering servant. And so the minister, the family, the believers, he told us on July 4th, 2020, that God is coming out for all of the inhabitants of our planet. And then one call that we had, Brother Jackie, his voice inflection sounded like the most honorable Elijah Muhammad's voice on the call. And he was dealing with some certain things that was going on. And I ended up writing him a letter that I'll share with you all just part. When I heard his voice, it reminded me of what the most honorable Elijah Muhammad wrote on page 69 in book 2 of How to Eat to Live. He put in bold caps, do not look at me when I'm sick.
Come on.
Whoa. And he talked about, the scripture says that in all of their afflictions, he was afflicted. And the most honorable Elijah Muhammad wrote that he has to go through these things so we won't have any excuse for not believing.
Come on, man.
That everything that all of the prophets tasted, that last one had to taste, and he put ... except death. That's not for him. Ooh, that's in How to Eat to Live.
Come on, man.
His voice inflection made me think about the suffering of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, and understanding the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is taking him down that same road because he wanted his mind. So the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is letting us know that the man that I have left in you all's midst, don't look at him crazy now because he's going through things. This is to be fulfilled. The messenger wrote in How to Eat to Live. I hope y'all go and read it. He said, I've also suffered deprivation of family like you. So there's nothing that none of us are tasting right now that the messenger of God is not tasting.
Yes, sir.
Come on, man.
But death ain't written for him. So the minister, he's in the chamber. He's reading, listening. But he said that we have to consult with our God more. That's what he does, dear brother. So there's much more, but 99.9% of it, he told me to keep it close to my heart to the proper time.
Yes, sir.
All praise due to Allah.
What that
But
letter you was gonna read?
well.
What the part of the letter? Are you good now? You not gonna read?
That
it?
was good. That's it. I'm good. See, Brother Jackson's a smart man. You just keep asking. Keep asking the question sooner or later.
Okay, yes, sir.
But see, you try. Yeah, I know that's everything. That's how I get in trouble. If somebody recording it, they're gonna take a screen record of that part. Brother
Hey,
Minister,
man.
didn't you tell? No, I'm just joking.
Nah,
but
man, we don't get
I
in trouble
want
for
the
telling
most
the truth.
important
Come
thing
on,
is
man.
that just the fact that our Father is sounding strong.
Right.
Praise
He's
the Lord.
focused. He
Right.
really is. And it's all in Allah's hands, he keeps saying to me over and over again. It's all in Allah's hands. So, inshallah, we pray that everybody who is on the Jock Nation, who
Yes.
is tuning in, find a spot. Shut your whole world down
Right.
on February the 27th at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time and tune in. Because one thing we know, through the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, we're always given everything that we need and
Right.
then some. That's
Yes,
a
sir.
guarantee.
Yes, sir.
All praise due to Allah.
Thank you, bro. We're gonna take a break, and after we come from the break, we're gonna dive right into how you went from the final call all the way into Twitter, and then producing these special books, which our listening audience will have an opportunity to get from you personally with your signed signature. But Jackie, would you like to?
What I had to work, sir.
speak on the no, we're talking about the initiative.
Okay, yes, sir. Yeah, absolutely, brother. I just want to hear you say it.
Yes, sir.
But look here, Jock Nation. You see, we're being thoroughly fed by our brother Abdul Kiyon Muhammad, who is giving us the spirit of Allah through his testimony. But look, we also need you to support this initiative, this prison initiative. We want to get the Final Call newspaper behind the belly of the beast, behind the walls, into the hands of our brothers and sisters who are locked down behind the belly of the beast. We are asking you to support. We want to thank Sister Kalila, who supported the initiative. She wanted to sponsor one male and one female, and we're looking for names. So if you have any names of any brothers and sisters who you would like the Final Call to reach, please send your information to jockbrothersviewers@gmail.com. jockbrothersviewers@gmail.com. Send that information, the names, the inmate information, the mailing information, so we can get that Final Call into behind the walls to our people. Excuse me. Back to you, Hawk, man.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. Okay, but Jesse, let's see now. We would like you to kind of steer us, because we got all the Final Call information. Now, the Twitter army, and how we're going from the Twitter army into compiling all these tweets into a very compiled special 2-volume book that you produced.
All praise is due to Allah. So our beloved minister's account again started March 2011. And again, the minister really didn't understand how Twitter worked, but I have to tell you all, just like a student, he stayed up sometimes with me on the phone till midnight, brother Ahmed, trying to learn what Twitter was, what is a retweet, where does tweets go, how do people see it? I mean, the minister really submitted himself as a student to learn the jargon of the technological world, to the point that sometimes the executive council members started calling me saying, brother, what is Twitter jail? The minister keeps saying this at the council meeting. We don't know what that is. So
right.
The minister really submitted himself. So what happened, people started submitting questions from around the country and the world, including believers. Because, you know, many of us as believers have had questions on our minds for years that we wanted to ask the minister.
Right.
So we said, this opportunity. So I said, brother minister in the blessed call said, people are asking questions. Would you like to answer to the people? He said, wait a minute, brother. You mean to me that I can respond sitting here in my chair at the palace here in Chicago? I can respond to somebody's question on Twitter and they'll get it? I said, yes, sir. He said, well, let's try that then. And it started with the first 10 questions. And then we would put the response back to the person that answered. Then I was sending feedback. And that's when I found out, dear brothers, the minister had been yearning to receive feedback in real time, including from his student ministers. When he would deliver messages, he said he really never knew what the people thought. Student ministers may not give him feedback or wouldn't write him. So the minister is just a guided servant, so he never knew in real people saying, you know? So this was new to him. He said, the people got the responses, brother, and they're responding back. I said, yes, sir. So it went from 1 call a month. Then it grew to 2 calls a month.
Right.
Then it eventually grew to 4 calls a month. Then it grew to 5 calls a month. The minister said, this has become the greatest time of my days, brother. I'm responding to the people with my Father's word. So once he understood that with an instant, his word could get to the people that quick and he could get the feedback, oh, he fell in love with it. So as time went on, after that first year, here you go. He called me and said, brother, it looks like you got an encyclopedia on your hands.
Right.
And you know, I'm slow. I'm like, yes, sir. He said, yeah, brother. And our light bulb went off, like on the cartoons. I said, he must be telling me to put this in book form. It didn't hit me till later. So then we get started compiling. You know, first year on the transcription of the tweets and everything, that was me and my wife. She was pregnant with our son, Jacine. That's why he's known as the Twitter baby. Because she was reading and transcribing the minister's recordings and the Q&As and reading that, and that was going down into our son. So the minister called him the Twitter baby. He was born in the Twitter era. So after that first year, we started compiling it. So we putting it in book form. The minister asked me, what should the title be? Brother Kawhi, I didn't sugarcoat it. I said, it's Hadith 2.0, brother minister. It should be called Hadith 2.0. He said, oh, brother, that sounds good. But he said, look at this. There's still things that I'm working on and uniting us with the Muslim world. So I wouldn't want to do that and upset things just yet, brother. He said, but what's that other term you've been using with the teachings? I said, the Teachings 2.0. He said, that's it. We'll title it the Teachings 2.0 for right now.
Right.
Such a wise man. Oh, he's so wise.
Yes.
Look how broad he's thinking. For those of us that still just think, oh, that's just social media. That's just this and that. Wait a minute. I thought you believed that he's divinely guided.
Come on, man.
But you go exclude his social media journey from him being divinely guided? Oh, okay. Maybe that's why you say, he said, wherever he goes, go, but you still didn't go to social media when he went.
Come on, man.
Okay. We're going to leave that alone right there. But with that being said, it went and we developed the first volume. And then from there, in 2012, September 26th, the minister did the Ask Farrakhan Town Hall meeting. He made history from the Final Call Administration building. Now, I just have to add this last part quickly. We were originally going to do it, I believe, at Chicago State, and we was going to have to pay an enormous amount of money and all that. Even though the minister hadn't delivered a message from the Final Call building in we don't know how long, I suggested to him that he humbly suggested that he do it from the Final Call Administration building.
Come on, man.
He said, you want me to do it from there? That was his reaction.
Right.
He hadn't been over there, done anything. And I said, brother minister, I said humbly, we've been giving these people our money for years. And I said, our institution, that I said, it will be a beautiful return of you to the Final Call institution. Now I'm saying this publicly for the first time. I said, I think it will be a beautiful revival for the Final Call institution.
Right.
Come on now.
He said, I'll consider it and think about it. He ended up deciding to do it there. And it took a lot of work. Ready the Final Call building to receive the minister. A lot of work. And those that were a part of it, they know. Even down to changing out the present rug that's there. It wasn't a new rug there. It was a lot of work. With that, from that town hall meeting, it opened up a whole nother thing. It was history. Now, he would only answer 35 questions that day, but it was over 700 questions submitted, Brother Ahmed, from around the world.
Come on,
and he gave his word. And Brother Jackie, when the minister give his word, you could take that to the bank.
That's right.
And he said he wasn't gonna rest till he answers every single question. And we had to get Sister Nubian Muhammad, who is presently the publishing editor of the Final Call.
Right.
We had to get other sisters from the Final Call to help. He started answering questions 50 and 70 at a time on the phone. He was all in rhythm to finish all 700 of them.
Wow.
So after that, this is now going into the Twitter army. I wanted people to see, look how Allah is moving this at such a fast pace, brothers and sisters.
Yes, sir.
Then his son, Brother Joshua, he started putting on the minister's mind. He said, Dad, you got to get back on your post, doing your broadcast like you would do in New York. Come on every week. And after the Ask Farrakhan Town Hall meeting, I was there at the Salam restaurant at the table. I was around, and there were other witnesses. Brother Student Supreme and Brother Joshua, they saw the vision that the Final Call building could be a media studio and institution for broadcasting worldwide. Right. Oh, yes. Once they saw that town hall meeting, then Brother Joshua, he's the one that put it on the minister's heart by Allah's permission to do the Time and What Must Be Done series. It was Brother Joshua, brothers and sisters. So the minister called us to the farm. And I didn't know why he called me there. This was my first time being invited there with the executive council members and research teams. And it was there, the minister told me, he brought me there, Brother Ahmed, because he wanted the young people of the Nation of Islam to be involved in spreading the time and what must be done.
Right.
He said, brother, you are the key to do that. That's why I brought you here.
Wow.
Wow.
And so from that, the time and what must be done gave birth humbly to something amongst our young people in the nation that was not going on at all. There was a spirit that happened, and the minister is the architect of the Farrakhan Twitter army. He suggested the name to me on the phone. It was his word being delivered every Saturday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time that infused the word to be trending every Saturday.
Praise
Come on now. What a beautiful man. Do y'all know what young people, y'all know what we used to do before the world, before coming to the nation in the world, right?
Right.
6 p.m. on a Saturday night, he was preparing to get in trouble. But the minister got young people logging on at 6 o'clock on a Saturday night to tweet intelligent discourse.
Right.
And these young people out-trended the NBA Finals, out-trended every movie release, out-trended the World Series. So the same way it was in 1992 in Atlanta, it was like that in 2013 during the World Series on Twitter. He outdrew the World Series. Oh, man. We got to see something powerful that Master Fard, Muhammad, and Elijah is behind, brothers and sisters.
That's right.
So this
That's
social
right.
media ain't no game.
No,
This
sir.
has been divinely orchestrated to free their man. And so finally, that's how this got started. It's all because of him. So I don't take no credit. I'm just happy to be in the digital ranks. And I'm happy to see now the continued explosion of the utilization of these tools. And it fulfills what the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said to the minister and other ministers in 1972, Brother Ahmed. He said to them in this meeting, he said, if you ministers won't obey me, I don't need you.
Right.
Come on now.
He said, because the white man has a contraption where he can put my words and my image up around the world in an instant. And the minister shared with me and others after he delivered the message November 16, 2017 at Watergate. He said, brother, I realized the messenger wasn't talking about then. He was talking about the contraptions that will be made in this day and this man.
Yes, sir.
Oh. So the minister said, Steve Jobs and the guys, they didn't know that they would be working for the Messiah. Oh, man. Y'all didn't hear me.
Yes, sir.
Oh, this is big.
Yes, sir.
This is big. So from that time after that, 2014, Volume 1 came out. And we made it very small, Brother Ahmed, because the minister said he wanted to target the young people with it.
Right.
And we didn't realize, too, Brother Kawi, a brother approached me from the Final Call staff at Savior's Day when this Volume 1 came out. He was crying. And Brother Kawi, he said, brother, you and the minister just waged war against the Zionists with that book, just aside. I said, what you mean? He said, in the protocols, Zionists of Elders Council, one of their protocols is to make sure that Black people do not print books in small sizes.
Wow.
I say, really? He said, go look it up. They want it always to be big and everything because they don't want our people to be appealed to it. But that's why he said it's more expensive to print books in smaller form. I say, you're right. It was very costly. So he said, just the size is an act of war because our young people go gravitate to it. So when we went out in the streets, truth trafficking with it, that's what the young people start doing. They would immediately open it up at the bus stop. They'll put it in their back pocket. They'll start reading it. And even the young people in the nation. Even the older believers like, hey, man, I like the way this is put together. I could just open up and go right to it.
Yes,
and
sir.
That's why we start calling it that daily bread. Because I don't know about you all's grandmother, but my blessed grandmother, may Allah be forever pleased.
May Allah be pleased.
My grandmother, she knew her grandchildren wouldn't go read that whole Bible, Brother Jackie. Somebody go read all them books, man, no way. So she would have all around the house, in the restroom, in the dining area, the little daily bread books. And they have a scripture of the day. It would have a little cartoon image for us children. And it would have a meaning at the end. But you can always go and get your bread. So the 2.0 It doesn't matter what you're going through. You can be riding anywhere, on a plane, people have said. And they just open up the book and said, man, I needed that. It's daily bread. So the minister has released 2 volumes so far. And he's answered over 5,000 questions on Twitter and Facebook since 2011. And we have enough content to do a minimum of 10 more volumes.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
So
you say 5,000?
He's answered over 5,000 questions on Twitter and Facebook combined.
Wow.
If you go and look, it's many believers that are still reposting screenshots of past answers that he gave from years ago.
Right.
From Farrakhan Fridays and Ask Farrakhan. And the minister hashtags, no disrespect to our brother, may Allah be pleased with him as well. But one day, Prince had put out some new music one day, Brother Kawi. The minister that day did an Ask Farrakhan chat on Twitter, and he out-trended Prince. I said, whoa. And Saint was upset. The minister's Twitter chat trended #1 and Prince's #2. It was big. The minister always trended every time he went live and answering these beautiful questions. So until the next volumes come out, just know, brothers and sisters, the minister said, when this came out, 2018, I believe it was, no, 2019. He said that if you feed on just what he gave in volume 2, we could feed and teach the people for years to come while he's gone.
Wow.
That's what he said to the student laborers at Coffee. And the minister was encouraging everybody to get these books. So there's enough in here to feed us and feed the people for years to come while he's gone. So you got to get your daily bread.
Wait, before you get off that, how does one today navigate between Twitter and the books? How do you suggest?
You say
Twitter, their Twitter account, and the books. How does one navigate? How do you suggest that they navigate between the two?
How can you clarify that for me? Clarify the question.
Well, they're getting information from Twitter. Can they go back and look at old tweets? And when they since the book is compiled of tweets and questions and answers from the minister, how can they navigate between both, getting information?
Absolutely beautiful. So, as you all many have known, the minister is the #1 censored and shadow banned person in social media history. And I'm going to stand on that. There's nobody that has been attacked by these tech companies like the minister. So they have stripped him of tens of thousands of followers for years. They have stifled. Now you're talking to a person who's seen the behind the scenes analytics. There's been times, Brother Kawi, where the minister's Twitter account analytics has said that he's reached over 5 million users, but he lost 60,000 followers. That don't add up. How is he trending when he delivers a message and his followers keep? So, of course, you know what they did to his Facebook account, Instagram account. They froze his Twitter account for months, and they're still shadow banning. So the first thing I invite people to do, follow the minister's Twitter account. Go back, because you can always still look up the hashtag, Brother Ahmed. Ask Farrakhan and Farrakhan Fridays on Twitter and Facebook, and many of his past answers will still come up. But unfortunately and fortunately, because they have worked to clear his digital footprint so much, and we thank Allah that we documented for ourselves. Everything the minister has ever posted, I have it archived and backed up. Because we know Satan, Brother Jackie.
Yes,
we knew
sir.
They weren't going to stand for the minister to freely feed the people on their platforms forever. So we got everything archived. And that's why, now this is not a PSA for everybody to start reaching out to me, but there's so many student ministers over the years, and even as recent, who will reach out to me regarding a particular subject that Allah, by Allah, except they're about to deliver that Sunday, and they'll say, brother, these ministers ask tweets or responses regarding this particular subject, and I've been able to go right into my digital archive and send them like 10 or 15 tweets for their research.
And for that's what I do behind the scenes. So I'm not that type to go out and tell people, see, I helped him with that lecture. No, but that's how the minister's word.
Right.
No shot at nobody else.
Yeah.
That's how the minister's words are so timeless. It's helping people. My brother, student minister Carlos, he could tell you all during Ramadan last year, when he had to stand in the place of our beloved brother Abdul Akbar Muhammad, our iconic pioneer and historian, right? When brother Carlos had to stand in for him on the Ramadan prayer line, I would post every morning or the night before when we were breaking fast, a past tweet from the minister related to Ramadan. And brother Carlos would read that every morning on the Ramadan prayer line because the minister's tweets are so timeless.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man. And it's still feeding us. And it's so beautiful. And this is what has made the minister, Brother Jackie, in this dispensation so happy. That during this last 2 years, while we've been called in our chambers, when he watched the Criterion for the first time afterwards, when he watched the message that he delivered during the 9/11 press conference for the first time, when he rewatched his Million Man March address for the first time last year, when he watched the message that he delivered at 10/10/15 for the first time, and then all these things that's been happening, it has made him break down because a servant don't be focusing on those things. He just keeps it moving. But now, when he see it coming back to him, he said, brother, the scriptures are being fulfilled. Cast your bread upon the waters.
Right.
And after many days, you'll see it coming back to you. So look at how so much digital bread the minister has cast on the waters, the minds of the people, that can come back to us tenfold, 20-fold, and people are still responding to tweets and answers that he gave 10 years ago. Sure, you gotta know. We are in the presence of the Messiah.
That's right.
Oh, is it a coincidence that the Twitter symbol is a bird? Didn't David speak? Who spoke the languages of the birds?
Right.
Is it written in scripture that one, will form a bird, right, out of clay, and it will become a bird by Allah's permission? Then he will breathe life into the bird, it will fly by Allah's permission, right?
Yes,
well,
sir.
How is it that this is the only man who has used these modern technological tools that when you get a tweet from the minister, it make you fly high? Believers are always saying, brother, I needed that. Oh, right. Man, I had that question on my mind. Look at the minister's answer. I needed that. Surely we got to know we're in the presence of the Messiah. I just thank you all, dear brothers. I have to say, I know y'all don't mind, but one of the reasons I don't do a lot of interviews is because your brother, by the grace of Allah, I talked to the minister so much and have to also collect so much feedback of what's going on and what's being said regarding him, and so much research, and I have to look at what the believers are talking about, and I still have to read private messages that still come to his Twitter page or tweeted at him, or messages that managing the Nation of Islam Facebook page. But many don't know that I still, manage that for our nation. I used to do the Twitter account until they banned that. So I had to take in so much in such a short amount of time that by the time I get to an interview like this one, I probably have talked to the minister about 15 times in 21 days. And so I be so full that I'm trying to you full. So come on, man. With me, man. But I love this work.
Yes, sir.
I wake up for every day is to do this resurrection work, man.
That's right.
When I log on, Brother Jackie, I know you all thinking too. I'm always thinking about it. There's somebody out there that has not heard a word.
That's right.
And I gotta try to do everything I can with every post that I got to reach that one person that need life, man.
That's right. That's right.
So this my whole being, man. So I just have to just say that, the audience that may not understand that's watching, man. It ain't no ordinary call when you're talking to the minister, man.
That's right.
It's a lot of electrical wattage that you have to take, and I'm not perfect like anybody else, man. But you have to be striving.
Right.
To take in the wattage of such calls, man.
Right. Right.
When the man is talking to you about intimate things and thoughts that you have to keep with you to a certain time, man. So it's a weighty word, but I thank Allah for his mercy and grace. And that's why my favorite song in the church, one of them, my mama can tell you, I always talk about it. I'm just a nobody, Brother Jackie.
Trying to
tell everybody about somebody who can save
anybody. Come on, man. Let me ask you this, Brother Jesse. You mentioned it, but the minister's digital footprint on social media definitely is being tampered with. When I share any speeches or whatnot, and a lot of I notice that a lot of people don't see what I'm sharing, and even if I'm trying to share from one social media to another, I can't get I don't know what you call it, but you try to copy a link and send it to Facebook or whatnot. It don't happen. So they are tampering hard with his message. Is there anything that we can do, or what is the best? What do you suggest as far as sharing on social media? What route should we take to make sure that we can get the message out?
It's an excellent question, dear brother. You know, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad wrote in Message to the Black Man in the Virginia House of Delegates that they had cheered and was excited that they had cut off every avenue by which light could enter the mind of the slave. So surely they did not calculate on the fact that Allah would lead his servant to utilize these modern tools, these contraptions by which the slave has no excuse to get access to the light. So now, once they recognize this during the Time and What Must Be Done series, see, the Anti-Defamation League had already been greatly successful in others in blocking the minister and his students from the college campuses after the Million Man March.
Right.
So after the Time and What Must Be Done series took off, the Anti-Defamation League and the Southern Poverty Law Center, Brother Jackie, they set up a beachhead in Silicon Valley. Then they released a book in summer of 2013 called Online Hate. Because they did not think that the minister would reach the young people with social media. They thought it was a fad. They didn't calculate it at all. So now they shifted their attention to social media and then go inside the boardrooms of Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all of them. They're all inserted in all of that, and they started partnering with them, all with the objective of cutting off the Messiah and those that would dare to share it. So now, shadow banning has been heightened. Now the celebrities are complaining about it, that people are not seeing the post. However, let me give you believers inside in the outside form. If a brother Jackie or a brother Kawi or a brother Ahmed or a brother Ben or a brother Reza or sister Nilam or whoever it may be, if they started saying that they're being shadow banned and we're not seeing their post anymore, let me tell you whose fault that is too, because this ain't no shock to us. That believer who is just sitting there babysitting an account and not doing nothing with it, you the problem. Because there are believers who repost. I'm just using myself as an example. When I post a minister, sometimes I do a clip, Brother Jackie, of the minister's Beethoven violin concerto. I got the same number of followers on Instagram I done had for years, and Twitter. They won't let me go up at all. I'm up and down all the time. But say, for instance, like my brother Linton here in Houston, my truth trafficking brother. He only has about 1,500 followers, Brother Linton. Recently, when every time he reposts me on his page, he's been getting an average of 10,000 views or more when I'm only getting like 2,000 to 3,000.
Right.
See, the enemy, for some reason right now, they're not paying attention to him. Not saying he ain't been pushing, but algorithmically, they're targeting certain people. So we need you sideline soldiers to start promoting the teachers, man.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
What are you doing on there? With all due respect.
Come on, man.
We are so easily distracted by foolishness.
That's right.
We are so pulled away by the latest things, man. We went so quickly from the swan song to foolishness, man. And the enemy is laughing. Like, okay, they're not serious. And some of us, we got accounts that are active and we only use it just to read and click like and comment on other pages, but you won't post one video of the minister. You can help us beat the shadow banning.
Come on now.
They don't see you as a digital threat.
Come on, man. Come on.
That's why there's a sister. She goes by Empress Pie on YouTube. After I got banned from YouTube last March, praise be to Allah, they terminated me. I noticed her and other believers who only had a couple hundred subscribers on YouTube. Now they have grown that some of their videos got 500,000 views, Brother Jackie.
Come on, man.
So every time the enemy closes the door, Allah opens up a side window.
That's right.
But if you're not thinking about using your pages to help the minister, you ain't helping us at all. You are part of the shadow banning problem. Why? Respectfully, I hope nobody's offended, but if so, you need to hear this.
It's all right.
When the minister spoke on December the 4th, 2021, Brother Jackie, we could barely get people to spread the clips. And the minister hardly was speaking last year.
Right.
I was excited. I said, man, I'm going to post as many as I can. And one brother who wasn't in the nation, he came to my page. He said, man, I've been searching for weeks for a clip on other people's pages. He said, why y'all nation brothers not spreading the minister?
Right. Come on, man.
So some of us that got large followers that's not getting shadow banned, we doing a disservice, man. You might as well deactivate your account. What good are you up?
Right.
We already know you have mastered the selfie. We're not going to question your ability in the selfie Olympics. You have won that award. So we invite you, as Brother Student Minister Ishmael said so gently, we encourage you, put yourself to the side for a moment. We need your help to spread February the 27th, brothers and sisters.
Come on now.
We need you to go all out, man. You say, man, hold on, it might hurt my business. You wouldn't even have a business were it not for the minister, man.
That's right. Come on.
We didn't know nothing about business.
Come on, man.
Not for the minister.
That's
we
right.
didn't have no activity of life. You would have no money. You talking about I gotta secure the bag. You wouldn't know nothing about having money or what to do with it were it not for the minister.
Come on, man.
A civilized bag at that.
Come on, man. Yes. The civilized bag. Good point. All to say is that, brothers and sisters, we need your help. Post the flyer immediately.
Yes, sir.
Post the clips from the brother Ishmael, Student Minister Ishmael, what he talked about. Reshare, repost it. There are certain ones of us that in us all day long need the help. So I would say we got to be strategic, but like this is digital warfare, and they're not playing. So that's what made the Twitter army is so valuable. Because when you're live tweeting and the enemy see that, when you got hundreds of people tweeting at the same time, whether they're in the nation or not, they can't stop that. Was from trending, being shown all together.
Yes, sir.
I pray that was a helpful.
Very helpful.
But that's just something from my perspective.
Yes,
we
sir.
have to all be involved.
Yes, sir.
We at a point. We getting ready to close. And we like to thank all our viewers for joining on. We have a special treat from Brother Kiam. Abdul Kiam wants to now, out of his gift, Savior's gift season, he wants to give some of the books that he's been blessed to produce to our believers. If you could all go into the Jock Brothers Viewers at gmail.com and put your information in the Jock Brothers Viewers at gmail.com. We just need your name and your address. Is that it, Brother Abdul Karim?
We need your name and a good address, and I'll take it from there.
Name and a good address. We'll get it to brother, and we will ship you out. He has 5.
I got 5 sets. The first 5. Matter of fact, you know what? Because Brother Kawi, y'all got me in such a good mood. Let's make it 10. 10 sets.
10 sets.
The first 10. You know, it's just something about odd numbers. 5. Now we got to round that up. We need 10. And so 10 sets, first 10 people to email the Jot Brothers your name and your address, the first 10, along with this day. So we got a gift to you. Daily Bread will be trafficking it to you immediately as a gift.
As a gift.
And they're all autographed and signed.
All autographed books. You can leave them with your children. You can leave them with friends and guests. I mean, it's gift giving season. It's Savior's Day. So please leave your information so we can get these books out. You never know where they could land, where they could stop. It's just like the final call. It can go on and go on. Your children, their friends, you don't know where these books might land, might end up. And such compiled with such great information, question and answers. Oh, I constantly read through it, brother Keon.
Me too.
I constantly get my daily bread. But as we close, I know, Brother Kawhi, did you have one more question? I know you was trying to get one in earlier.
I was trying to get it in, man. Nope.
Man,
I didn't want to stop what he was doing. I didn't want to stop what he was giving us, brother.
You can't stop the flow, brother. You can't stop
that flow, brother. No, I would just, just reflect, after the, Prophet Muhammad, after he passed, right? His words went on with through hadith by a brother named I believe it was Bakari. And I mean the way you compiling this information, brother, of the minister, you making it that you kind of like in that role. I mean, is there anybody else compiling this information like that? I mean, is that maybe that's a bad question. I don't want to. I know you're not a self-grandizing brother, but you kind of put me in that thought process, that mindset, brother.
No, Allah is indeed one, dear brother. You're on the frequency with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. After I initially wanted to call it Hadith 2.0 and he said not to, a month or so later, he called me because his daughters came to him and said, Dad, this is really like Hadith. And he called and said, brother, this is really like Hadith. And we both laughed. So as time has went on, I've just done the collecting. To humbly answer your question, no, sir, this has not been done. Not for the minister. No, sir.
Wow.
This is new, and it's a blessed, unique service that is still going and growing and manifesting. And it struck me last year during Ramadan, and the Ramadan readiness that our brother Imam Sultan Rahman hosted. He had me on day 3, I believe. And as I was connecting and sharing the minister's responses to questions related to fasting and Ramadan and charity and things like that, and connecting it to the prophet, I talked to him and the audience about the history of Bukhari.
Bukhari, okay.
Bukhari, because the minister had mentioned that to me in passing in a car. The minister, he drops things on you. If you're not paying attention, you'll miss it. And he mentioned on September the 17th, 2020, he talked about that many of the hadiths were not reliable because people were careless in 2 things. They was careless in listening and because of ego, which causes us not to say things straight. So he again dropped that many of the hadiths were not reliable. Then he comes again and Imam says to me, Brother Kawhi and others on the audience, he said, we have a modern Bukhari with us, the work of Bukhari. And I just stopped. I didn't say anything. I'm just saying what he said. Now, this is the Imam, and it stumped me. And it made me feel just the same way it made me feel with you saying it. So, as I started studying him, Bukhari's life, and I reached out to my brother student minister Eric Muhammad here in Houston, and he sent me some pieces on various research and reliable research on his work in collecting the hadiths and that process. And when I tell you, Brother Kawhi, the same process and guidance and how the minister has led me and directed me in handling his words, it's the same way. I found, dear brothers, sisters watching, Bukhari collected upwards of 600,000, Brother Ahmed,
Yes, sir.
of what was said to be hadiths.
Mm.
And he only used 1.2% of those that were considered of the authentic collection. And Bukhari was a man who paid attention, was concise in his organization of the word, the review of it, a great listener, and was very careful in what they call the chain of transmission and the integrity of those that was saying that they was passing on the words of the prophet. So he was a man that was a stickler about organization and careful handling of the word. And he was such that there was a clamor and a dispute over him and his handling of the word. And people got upset with him when their hadiths wasn't included. So he was actually exiled.
Wow. Come on, man.
Oh, this ain't no game now.
Right.
So there was a fight. Now you're dealing with the Muhammad of 1400 years ago, Brother Kawi. He wasn't present to sign off on his word, but the Muhammad, who the 1/3 that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said 1/3 of the Holy Quran was for another fella, and he would let him worry about his part. That Muhammad has been present to read over the transcripts of every answer that he has given in this dispensation. So the dispute over the authenticity of the word, this is a new day today of this collection.
Come on, man. Come on. Come on now. Come on.
But it takes those who love him, love his words, careful about listening, will remove their ego.
Come on,
they
man.
will maintain the purity of the word and how it's been transmitted. And that's why your brother don't play when it comes to note-taking with the minister.
That's right.
No, man. Every time he opens up his mouth, if the Elijah Muhammad said to him, brother, these lips are not made to speak frivolous words. They're made to speak the will of God. So when the man answers a question, I fear getting it wrong, Brother Kawi.
Come on, man.
Then lastly, I have to give credit where credit is due. It was student minister Nuri Muhammad, our great brother. He called me after Volume 1 came out, and he heard me in messages because, you know, I got the PDFs of all the books and I got all the archive. I know I can find what subject. And he said, brother, y'all ever thought about doing an index or a table of contents, something where it's subject matter so I can go right to the subject? I said, yes, sir. Then Student National Secretary, Brother Saad Ali, he called me and said the same thing. And I said, I'm going to suggest this to the minister. Brother Kawi, guess what? Bukhari eventually started arranging the prophet's hadith by subject matter. Oh, praise is due to Allah. So when we read the hadiths and you look at the living thoughts of Prophet Muhammad and these various books, they got them by subject matter now.
Right.
So now when you open up Volume 2, which this now is a template for every single volume, Allah willing, any that the minister allows to be released before he departs from us, now you got it by subject matter now.
Come on now.
So I humbly submit that it's not me. It's because I'm wise enough to know the supreme wisdom said, submit your answers to your teachers.
Right.
He will teach you quickly any course you may desire. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan did not have to study social media to teach me how to do it better in the best way. He did not have to know blogging, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok. The minister don't need to know the intricacies of all of that. He's divinely guided.
That's right.
So thank Allah for striving to be submissive to him, not knowing that we will be walking right in the path of how the hadiths were put together. But what a joy it is to know, Brother Kawi. If anybody, question, we need the parts. I don't know why the God moving me to say this. I never said it publicly. But thank Allah that everything is documented and backed up in the backup.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. Come on now.
And if there's a clamor in the exalted assembly after he departs over the authenticity of these hadiths, Sorry to let you know, it's all backed up. No, you by the grace of Allah, you won't be able to do that in this dispensation because there's a cadre that is in love with the word, man. And there's some of us who our sole focus has been the word and the protection and the authentic protection of the word. And there's some of us in the quietness of our spaces and our journey in the nation have quietly been building up libraries, organizing the ministers' lectures, organizing articles. And I was talking to a brother earlier from Baltimore. He's just like me. Because why? Why is it that student ministers know? Even in the final call, if there's a certain lecture or something and everybody know, they say, man, call Brother Keon. Why is that, Brother Keon? Can we? Because I came up in a culture where we didn't play about the word.
Come on, man.
And I want to be able, when our Father departs from this world, not die, but when he, as I'm going up yonder to be with my Lord, I want to be one of those that I don't want to just put something out and I don't know the source. I want to know the date, the time, the city, the content, and the context, as Brother Jabril taught us. I want to be able to give the people the fullness of why the minister said what he said when he said it, not just give them a sound bite, man.
That's right.
That's what I want to be. So I thank Allah for the Bukharis that went before us, that blessed us with the collection of the hadith that I have on my desk, Brother Kawi. And I pray to Allah that we will grow with a pure heart to not take the minister's words for granted and not take our collection for granted. Don't take your DVDs for granted. Don't even take your VHS for granted. Don't take your MP3s, those clips, those books, because the Bible lets us know that a time was going to come when there will be a famine of not just physical bread, but a famine of spiritual bread. So how will we look, as I close, how will we look being surrounded by all this spiritual bread in our home and we dying from hunger? Because we're not organized and respecting what we have.
Come on, man.
I don't want to be like that. May Allah bless you all. Thank you all so much for your time, my brothers.
Thank you. We want to be respectful of your time too. Thank you, brother. We appreciate that. That was a great closing.
All praise is due to Allah. And praise be to Allah.
We wanted to go around and just what we do at the end of our show, just give a brief closing. Did you want to say anything else, brother? What
about the website? You want to tell them how to contact you?
Oh, yes, sir. All praise due to Allah. So after YouTube decided to give me the blessing of terminating me, as Jesus said, if they hate you, know it's because they hated me first.
That's right.
And so I thank Allah. YouTube decided to terminate me on March 8th, 2021. And so I just started, so I got with a blessed, well developer here in Houston, the Edmond, got with other graphic designers, and we launched Q Video, our own independent video platform where there's no censoring, Brother Kawi, ain't no shadow banning going on. They don't tell us what we can post or what we have to take down. And we have learned, Brother Jackie, that the same functionalities that YouTube, Vimeo, and others have, it's accessible to us. We just got to know where to find it, have the right minds that we have in our nation, have the capital to invest in. I invest my own money in it to launch it. And by the grace of Allah, we launched it on May 11th last year as a birth anniversary. Birth anniversary gift to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Because he inspired me. And I'm happy to let you all know the minister went to the site and he said he loved what he saw. And he was happy to know that I did not let YouTube stop me in the pushing of the word. And he prayed that Allah continues to grow it and develop this in this continued effort of the ministry. So Q Video is not just my platform, Brother Kawi, like I said. It's everybody's page. Go onto the website now. You can sign up for free. You can do just like on other pages, YouTube. You can do watch later. We got ads. I got everybody and their cousin in them on the platform.
Come on, man.
Anybody that's doing great things, I'm putting you on there. You can comment everything, and we still keeping it going, keeping it growing. We've learned a lot, but it's our own platform. And so we have learned in this process, brothers, that digital separation is possible too.
Come on, black man. That's right.
So we controlling our online server, and it's just really, really been a blessing to learn this. So come on over to Q Video, where our motto is, in our lifestyle, and where life is. Welcome to the world of ideas.
Yes,
you
sir.
may now press play.
We coming to
Come
take
on
over. We bringing Jock Nation over there, brother. We bringing Jock
Come
Nation.
on now. Hey, look. Now I posted. I don't know if y'all saw the interview y'all did with the great legendary security team. I posted that on Q Video.
Oh man,
that was historic, man.
Yeah.
So we posted that on Q Video. So Jock Brothers got a spot on that too. Any video
That's
you
right.
all want posted or past interviews, brother, email them to me and we're gonna post it and spread it, brother.
Yes,
That's
sir.
what we about. I love the FOI and the MGT. You all are my celebrities. So I support our people. MGT and FOI, y'all got exclusive first access though.
Thank
on,
you,
man.
bro. Thank you.
Absolutely.
We love you too, bro.
Praise
But
be to Allah.
Jackie, you had any last comments?
Yes, sir. First of all, I would like to thank you, brother Abdul Qiyam, for your spirit.
Yo,
A lot, like the minister say, he gave you the big name, man. May Allah bless you to earn your name, man, to live up to your name, brother. Your spirit is good. You're doing a wonderful job. So when you come back, we'll talk to you about the phone call, those 5 phone calls that you went over.
right.
I didn't want to go into it because it's so deep, but definitely when you come back, brother, we can talk about those phone calls and just the time and what must be done and what we have to do in this time period, brother. Also, just want to let you know this is your complimentary. You are now part of the Jock Nation, brother. We're gonna send this.
Oh, watch out now. Come on now.
Yeah. So we definitely be getting yours in the mail, brother. We're gonna send it to you, and we're gonna launch it to the Jock Nation very soon, brotherhood. So we want to thank you, brother Abdul Qiyam, for the work you're doing, brother. He asked you to keep up the good work, brother. And I guess we can, if we need to share any videos to our social media, we can go to qvideo.com, and then from there we can download and share clips.
You can download, yes, sir. You can share clips on all of the social media platforms, just like you do any platform, my brother.
Absolutely. Well, praise Allah. Well, may Allah continue to bless you and your family, brother, in this work, and keep up the good work, sir.
Yes, all praise due to Allah.
Absolutely.
All right. Yes, sir, brother Kawi.
Yes, sir. So Jock Brothers has been around almost 2 years. It's amazing why we haven't had you on the show before now. I'm upset with that, but that's not gonna happen going forward. I love the energy. I want this to be a continued relationship between you and us, man, because man, your excitement about doing this work, man, it's like what we were when we first started and where we are striving to be. We got big plans and we are so excited about it. And when I hear you talk with that type of energy, it just like, wow, this is like a match made in heaven, man. And so I thank you for coming to the show. I love the work that you do for our minister, for the nation. I love the fact that you take your job so serious because it's like another reliable source that we can tap into at any time.
That's
and
right.
If these top flight ministers are calling you to get quotes so they can be stronger on their lectures, man, it can only make us stronger as an individual to get that to get that daily bread that you're trying to give to us. So look, I want my copy, brother. I should just give you my information right now, straight up, without going to the website. I want my copy straight up signed. And so, thank you for coming to our show. But I appreciate everything that you gave us. Assalamu alaikum.
Praise be to Allah. Walaikum salam. Thank you, sir.
Okay, yes, sir. And thank you again, brother Abdul Qiyam. We appreciate everything you've done of being such a great vessel for the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan and a vessel to us transforming and getting this information and giving it out to us through your books, through all your hard work. We pray that Allah guide your heart, your spirit, and your mind And we thank your family, your mother, your brother, all the hard work that your family is putting in. Oh man, it's you all are such a blessing. And whatever we can give you, because you're always giving, whatever we can give you, please let us know. Jock Brothers, we're always here for you, brother.
I got
Thank
one
you
question.
for joining us. Yes, sir. And accepting our invitations.
I want that bow tie on Savior's Day, brother. I want you to be busting that Jock bow tie and handkerchief on Savior's Day, brother. That'll be
yes, sir. Inshallah, bro, man. Look, I'm looking forward to getting that bow tie. Come on now.
Yes, sir.
Hey, that's real, dear brother. So I thank you all again for the blessed opportunity. And just like the minister said with Final Call Radio, with Jock Brothers, I pray that we keep it going and keep it growing.
Yes, sir.
And Allah willing, I look forward to real soon to be back on with you, my brothers. I really have enjoyed this experience, and I thank y'all for all the interviews you've done before me. I have really enjoyed watching you all, brother. It's been a wonderful, wonderful platform.
Thank you,
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, all our viewers. We're on next week.